everybody, and welcome to another episode of SHEEN Magazine, SHEEN Talk. My name is Laura Miller, and I just wanted to tell you guys that it's February, but at SHEEN Magazine, it's Black History Month all year round because this is a Black publication founded by a Black woman. All day we live in Black history. So although that's the case, we are super excited to celebrate this month. And in tandem, we're equally more excited to meet Dwayne Fields, who is starring on his own show on National Geographic called Seven Roughest Days. Thank you so much, Dwayne, for joining. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Laura. So first of all, it's amazing to be here, and I'm loving sharing Black History Month, even though it's always Black History, with you.
Thank you. So first things first, you are an explorer and you've lived a pretty interesting life. So can you tell me how you got connected with National Geographic and by way of your personal journey?
Okay, so firstly, thanks a lot. My life hasn't been interesting. It's had its ups and downs like most people's. I started life in Jamaica, rural Jamaica. I ended up moving to the UK at a really young age. I think I was 6, going on 7. And my first ever environment was a woodland. It was the outdoors. So moving to London, that was removed, or I was removed from that. And as a result, as a kid, what you do is you work to fit in. This new place that you get to, you do everything it takes to fit in. You laugh at jokes that aren't funny. You might say things that you don't necessarily agree with. You pretend to know things that you don't know. We all do it as kids. Some of us even do it as adults. And I carried on that pattern of behavior all through my life until my early 20s when a guy pulled a gun on me. And for me, that was the catalyst to change. He pulled the gun and pulled the trigger. And I remember at the time thinking, gosh, Dwayne, you need to think about what life means to you now. You need to think about where your life's headed. There were so many people saying, you know, get this guy, you should get him, he tried to kill me. And I thought, well, I don't want to get this guy. I just want to live the best life I can, or be the best version of myself that I can. And in doing so, I reflected and thought, well, what do I like? What's the things that I enjoy doing? And for me, it was always being in the outdoors, being in a natural space and pushing myself. So I started to do the odd adventure here and there, doing the 3 peaks, climbing mountains in the UK, traveling around the world. And luckily, NatGeo picked up on this and asked me to travel with a well-known guy. I don't know if you know him. It's a guy called Will Smith. Take him across Iceland. And I did that. And from there, it's been one thing leading to the other. And I eventually ended up with my own series on Disney Plus with NatGeo. And it's been an awesome, awesome journey ever since.
You know what? I did see you on that show. I knew your face was familiar. I'm like, what's happening? Because I am an avid National Geographic person. Like,
rightly so.
It's my jam. But so did you also get stabbed, or do British people say stabbed when they mean shot? You got both.
Yeah. So I grew up in a really rough area. I grew up in East London, and I've never carried a knife with any malice intent. I've never carried a gun with any malice intent. But I was stabbed. I've got 2 stab wounds on my body. One just there. So it's literally 2 inches from another 2 inches, and it would have been across into my neck. I've got one in my lower stomach as well. Again, there were a lot of misguided young people here in Britain. And that's part of the reason why I'm so adamant that I do work to try and engage the disadvantaged community, the disadvantaged people who feel that that's the only choice they have.
I'm so glad you're on this earth still.
Me too. Thank you.
And do you think that those traumas, because they are those, gave you a new zeal for life that kind of brought you to this, I'm going to call it thrill seeking or adventurous state of being? Because let's face it, we have a Black man from Jamaica by way of the UK deciding that he wants to go to the North Pole. Like, why? Why are we doing that? What's happening to us?
Well, do you know what it is, Laura? So I got to the stage in life where I thought I've had enough of pretending to like the existence that I'm living. I've had enough of laughing at these jokes that aren't funny. I've had enough of going left when I want to go right. So I thought, well, how can I announce to the world that I'm going to be me? How can I announce to the world that Dwayne Fields is now going to be the Dwayne Fields that he was at 6 years old, but just mature? And I thought the most abstract thing that I can do is follow the footsteps of a man called Matthew Henson. I'd encourage every single one of the people listening or watching this to check him out. And I'd walk to the North Pole. So I did that back in 2010. And believe it or not, 2 weeks ago, I was in Antarctica on the polar plateau as well. So it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop just with the North Pole.
Wow. So in your show, you're going to go through multiple climates. Do you have a preference for desert versus freezing as ever?
So everyone asks me this, Dwayne, do you like the cold? No, I do not like the cold. Nobody likes the cold. But I tell you what it does do for me though. I love all these environments, but what the cold does is it allows you to push yourself in a way that very few other environments do. Yes, the extreme heat does the same, but the cold allows you to push yourself in ways and grow in ways that very few other environments do. So I do have a special place in my heart for cold environments, but I'm getting to the stage where I've had enough of those and I want to start doing more stuff in the heat and tropical spaces.
So you can't tell me, but were you in Antarctica with Will Smith? Was that where you guys were?
No, so interestingly, Will Smith was down in Antarctica. I think the week before I arrived, I was shooting another series down there. But again, cold places or they're almost like blank spaces. They are so beautiful. They are they are one of the most beautiful environments. When you're in a place like the Arctic and there's nothing but snow and ice around, the way the light is refracted, it's the most beautiful thing. And I'd encourage anyone to go and have a look if they have the means to. And if you don't, do you know what? Watch me and I'll try and describe it as best as I can in my series.
You know what I can tell you guys, if the show aired last night, so it's the 8th of February right now if you're watching this. There was an episode that aired last night, but you can watch this show on Disney Plus and National Geographic and streaming on Hulu starting February 24th. So you guys have some time to kind of acclimate yourselves with the extremism that is Dwayne, because he is, you guys. But anyway, what I wanted to mention was you have a really good way of description that I noticed, because a lot of this time you're majorly by yourself. You do a lot of self-talk. Mm-hmm. How necessary is that affirmation, those affirmations and that self-talk? Because you're like, come on, Dwayne, just do it, just do it. You like jumping off of cliffs into water in the desert. Y'all, this desert places that he found, I was like, I think he's dreaming. This is not.
It's not real. No, I'm telling you what it is.
It's not real.
I'll tell you what that is. Every now and then, we all have doubts. We all have them. I don't care if you are the most confident human being on the planet. We all have doubts. And in those moments of doubts, we almost need someone beside us to say, come on, Laura, you're awesome. You can do this. And if there isn't someone beside you, I think it's our own duty to verbalize it, vocalize it, say it out loud to ourselves. Come on, I'm Laura Miller. I can do this. And that puts a stamp on it, gives you a sense of belief, and it raises your confidence level that much more. Gets rid of doubt as well. So I do that a lot. When I'm tired, when I'm on my last legs, when I'm hungry and fed up and it's miserable outside, I come on, Dwayne, just 5 more minutes. Come on, Dwayne, 10 more minutes. And it really works. So I'd encourage, again, people to do that whenever they feel like they're having a tough day.
I think it also makes you far more crafty too. Like you got like a MacGyver situation that you're working with. There was like a 10 cup. I saw you do like 3 things with. I'm like, okay. He's about his life. He knows how to survive the apocalypse. I think if it ever happened, you'd be okay. I'm not sure about me, but you would be fine.
I'd like to think that, but in truth, I'm not an expert. And the whole point of this show isn't to portray me as an expert. It's to say, I know some things and I'm going to apply the lessons that I've learned to this situation. And it's a lot of that goes on in this show. So what you'll find is, at times, I might take off my boot and use it for something that it was never intended for. I have to watch some more to see that one. Oh, actually, you'd have seen it in this episode. So
I saw it.
I make use of what's available. I do it in my day-to-day life, and I do it when I'm outside as well. So whatever it is that I've learned in the past, whether I learned it by reading the book, heard it secondhand from somebody else, I think to myself, could I apply that to this situation? And more often than not, I try it. If it works, brilliant. If it doesn't, I move on to the next thing.
Yeah, and he also like honors the ancestral scorpions that are dead in his travels. Like Dwayne is awesome. You guys are gonna really enjoy this series. Dwayne, before we go, can you tell us the types of places that you're going to be traversing throughout the series?
So what you'll find is you'll find me in some high altitude places, thousands of meters up in the Tian Shan Mountains in Kyrgyzstan, crossing the steppe on glaciers. You'll find me in the deepest, darkest jungles anywhere in Africa. You'll find me, interestingly, under the jungles in Africa as well. Little cryptic there.
Yikes. Okay, I'm scared, but I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we can watch this ASAP, because I want to tell you guys, this is something you can watch with your family. You don't have to watch it when the kids are in bed. I actually think it would be great for you to watch it with your families, because there's a lot of life skills that you can kind of unearth with watching Dwayne during this show. Like I said, there's a lot of self-actualization going on. There's a lot of like, okay, I have to survive. He never really freaks out. Like, not really, but you do get to experience his joy on day 7. Day 7 is the day. Like, I don't want you guys to skip the rest of the days, but day 7 is the day where you get actual glee from this man throughout these travels. And I really think it's important for you guys to watch it. My last question is going to be the one that you're going to ask. You're going to be asked all the time. What did you learn about yourself throughout the journey of this series?
I learned that I'm more capable than I could have ever imagined. I learned that I'm more powerful than I could ever imagine. And by that is exactly what you've just said. You said the affirmations. I've learned that other people can pick up on where my weaknesses are and come on that journey through me while I turn them into strength. I've learned that things that I thought were irrelevant are more important than they actually are. I've learned how important interpersonal relationships are in terms of the people that I come across on these journeys. I've learned to value people who, just people who in passing, you never know what you're going to get from somebody else. And oftentimes it's a gem that you can use later.
Yeah, and the humanity that helps you out. It's like people you would never expect. So I love that. So, wow, I could talk to you all day because I have questions in my mind. And if you guys haven't seen the series yet, by the time this airs, like there's an episode I feel like all I saw the man eat was dates. I don't think he ate anything else. I'm so concerned for his health right now. Did you eat anything else? Like, I'm like, this backpack is going through things. What's happening?
You're going to enjoy that episode. That's what I'm going to say to you. You're going to really enjoy that one.
Okay, good. Because I need to know what's in the backpack. I feel like, what's that, Dora? I feel like Dora. I need to know what's in that bag because it is going through some stress and I feel for the bag. Okay.
All will be revealed.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Dwayne, for joining. It is my pleasure to speak with you. Good luck in everything you do. And let me know if you decide to do something crazy so I can make sure to talk to you after you've done it safely.
Will do, definitely. Laura, thank you so much. It's been a joy.